Now I'm happy to welcome back the CEO and commissioner of the season and Mr. Peter Simones. You can follow Peter on Twitter and the season at _SZN. Peter, thanks for coming back on, my man. Football's so close now. We were just talking. I can smell it. How's it been going with you?
It's great to be back. Love chatting with you and being on the Odds Breakers pod. Things have been good. Yeah, I think I measure my life like in terms of football seasons, where I'm like, okay, here we are again, and we've been doing the season for 16 years now, which also starts to make me feel old. I don't know how long have you been at the Odds Breakers, sort of doing what you do, Kiev?
This is our eighth season.
There you go.
Sports betting though since 2003, really. Like I would say significantly, not like maybe a bet with your buddies, right?
Sure,
you know,
sure.
yeah. I mean, wow. So you've really been around a long time for 16 years. I mean, that's like almost when the internet was coming out, maybe after,
Right.
but still, it's like you probably had one of the first websites out there for this stuff, I would guess.
I mean, you're probably right. I mean, when we started the season, it was we started with just an NFL survivor pool, and we started like most pools do, right? It was like email and spreadsheet, and we tried to make it as good as possible. But that was where we started, and then a website, and then expanding to what we've got today. But yeah, humble beginnings, like most things.
Absolutely. Well, hey, why don't you remind our listeners what the season is and how exactly it got started 16 years ago?
Yeah, totally. So the season, we run the world's best pools. If you like playing in sports pools, NFL is sort of our big fish and sort of what made us famous. But we also do March Madness. We got a lot of great stuff for golf. We do baseball, the sports that you would expect, and the classic formats that you would expect. So NFL Survivor is our biggest, but we have Pick'em. We do props pools. We do some new formats that we've invented that we're really excited about, like the all 30 one and done. Or in the NFL, it would be the all 32 one and done, which is you got to pick each team exactly once. So 32 picks, and the person who gets the most wins is the champ. So we have a lot of pools from your classic to your more inventive. We put up guaranteed prizes for all of them. So when you come in, you know exactly what the prize pool is going to be. You know exactly the structure from first all the way down. NFL Survivor, we pay 700 places this year for that pool alone. And yeah, we started humbly as an NFL Survivor pool with my friends and family, where I was like, hey, I want to stay close to sports. I was the USC sports editor during the Pete Carroll, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart glory years, and when I transitioned to adult life and knew that I wasn't going to be writing about sports, I used this Survivor pool as a way to kind of stay close to it. And friends told friends, it grew and grew and grew, and so we end up launching the season as a place to come to really make watching sports and following sports, talking about sports with your friends a lot more fun, where the competition around these pools is at the center of it. And so we paid out over $1 million in prizes this year for the NFL alone. We've got 215,000 plus in guaranteed prizes. And it's just a lot of fun. Everything's really simple rules. We are one entry per person for everything. So we care a lot about fairness and a level playing field. And so exactly sort of, hey, I've got my one entry, everyone's got one entry, and may the best picker win. So yeah, that's at its core what the season is. And as you said, we are the SZN.com. And I'm looking forward to talking about the special that we've got going on for Oddsbreakers listeners.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Well, can't wait to get to that too. You know, it's interesting. You guys are one of the first out there, being 16 years ago, and that's how it's built into literally thousands of subscribers now. But what's great about yours too, and I love how you said that you don't allow multiple entries. I mean, some bigwig can push people around, maybe put a little program out there, put 1,000 entries in or something, and people are always worried about that. So there's always a maximum. It's like playing poker, it's like the guy with all the chips can't just be shoving
Yep.
people around. So I love that, but I also love the fact that it is affordable. This is one of those that's larger in volume, but it's very affordable to get in. Can you tell us a little bit about that and any changes?
Yeah, absolutely. So our pools, every pool that we do, it's $10. That's it. And we also sell bundles where you can buy several pools at a discount. And so I'll talk a little more about it, but just to speak directly to it, as a special for Odds Breakers listeners, we're giving all of the NFL pools that we do. So we've got 11 of them this year, and a special odds breaker listener only pool where it's only access for folks who know and listen to the odds breakers. So 12 pools in total, and we're giving it at 50% off. So just $60, 215,000 in guaranteed prizes, $50,000 to the NFL Survivor winner, an exclusive pool just for odds breakers listeners. All of it. You can sort of come in, sample it all, have a blast with us, and you're only paying $60 for all of that, for 12 pools, 215,000 in prizes. So I think, Kiev, you're going to put the link at in the description of this podcast for folks who want to come join us. But yeah, it's $10 per pool. So if you want to just do the big NFL Survivor, you can come and you can do it for $10. How the prizes are that big is we've got a lot of people in our community who love what we do, who have had a lot of fun, who like to do it with their friends, their family, their coworkers. And so the NFL Survivor, we're expecting somewhere around 10,000 people, 10, 11, 12,000 people. But we put up 120,000 in guaranteed prizes for the NFL Survivor alone. So it's a great value. We could probably make more money by charging a higher price, but we love the community that we've built, and part of the appeal is to have a lot of fun at a low entry point.
That's awesome. And that's not a ton. If there's 120,000 prizes, you literally need 12,000 entrants at the $10 just to pay that out. So that's very generous. And the first place gets over 50 grand just for these little $10 entry fees. So that's amazing. But there's 12 pools. I mean, there's pick 'em pools because you can pick the winners. There's also something called a loser survivor pool that we like to sponsor at the Odds Breakers. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, totally. So I think this will be the second annual Loser Survivor brought to you by the Odds Breakers. We love it. We love the partnership, and it's NFL Survivor format, which is you pick one team each week. You have to survive to advance, but you flip it on its head, where in Loser Survivor, you're picking a team to lose. And so in the NFL, when you think about the dynamics and how most years play out, I would say that Loser Survivor requires a little bit extra strategy because you typically know that there are 3 or 4 just bad teams each year. And in normal Survivor, you're picking against those teams very frequently, right? But in Loser Survivor, you can only pick those really bad teams once. And so you have to think through and think ahead a little bit more. And so the strategy is very fun in Loser Survivor. And yes, that is one of the 12 pools that we offer. And it is brought to you by the Odds Breakers.
It's wonderful. It's such a different way of thinking because, you can pick against Carolina like last year, right? You pick against them as much as possible. You're probably going pretty far unless you just happen to have those ones that they and those are some bad teams playing them, right? And so that's how people win Survivors a lot, is picking that bad team to go against. But now you have to pick the team that's going to lose, and you can only use Carolina once. You can only use Washington once. You can only use the Giants once. It's like oh man, who's going to lose this week? And it gets really convoluted and tough. So I think that's just an amazing way of doing it. Now, on the other end of things, you can pick like who the Chiefs are playing every week, but it's not that easy because even the best teams in the NFL only win 11 or so games. I feel like there's a few very bad teams and a lot of pretty good teams, you can say, in the NFL, and it just makes it that much more of a headache to do, but yet super fun. And that's why we like to sponsor it, because it's definitely a little bit different. So that's going to be in one of the pools for the bundle for $60. You get 12 pools, and you get it from our link at www.theszn.com/OB. And you're getting 12 pools for that. So you have a lot of chances to win. And so I love that, man. And Loser Survivor is a part of it, but we're also going to be putting our money where our mouth is, and we're making a positive EV contest, aren't we? We're both kicking up some money. So no matter how many entries we get, we're always going to put more money in. So no matter what, we are always going to have positive EV, means it pays out more than we take in. That's just for you guys out there. If you get in this link, get in the $60 promotion for 12 pools. It's a guaranteed 250 right now, $250 guaranteed. If there's 5 people in, if there's 10 people in, if there's less than 25 people in, that's great. But if there's going to be 25, we're just going to up it to 350. You know, and we're going to use some of that the actual money from it to make sure that we're always putting more in. So you're getting a positive EV in our Survivor. And then thank you for that partnership. I think that's great for our listeners and fans.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we were talking. I mean, we've been doing this pod for several years, and we've partnered last year, and we're partnering this year. And we were talking about, hey, what can we do that's a bit different than what you see other places? And it's like, all right, we're going to do an exclusive pool, Survivor pool, just for Oddsbreakers listeners. And like you said, we hope there's more than 5 people, but if 5 of you join, well, then, there's 250 going to one of the 5 of you there. But if we get a lot of you that want to come, then we'll up that prize pool and make sure that the exclusive Oddsbreakers pool, that's just one of the 12, but again, only available through the link that Kiev's going to put in the description. That money is there. And as Kiev says, who doesn't love positive EV?
Who doesn't love positive EV? That's what we die for every day as sports bettors. Always trying to get the line value and the positive EV. And there's not many contests like that. And obviously we have one right now. Even the big DraftKings contest, that's all 5% rate. Your chances just take, thousands of people right out of it. That money's going back to them. We are not doing that with this prize. So we're really happy about that. Can you talk a little bit about some of the other pools besides Loser Survivor?
Yeah. So when you were talking about the Panthers, it made me think back to that all 32 one and done that I talked about. So in this format, again, you pick every NFL team once to win. That's it. There's no spreads. Just pick a team to win. And you're going to have to use every single team exactly once. And so I think what it works out to is 4 picks or 4 weeks at 1 pick, and then the rest of the weeks at 2 picks per week. And you get 32 picks. And so in there, you're going to have to pick the Panthers to win once. And so there's a lot of strategy, right, around like, okay, if they have a game early in the schedule that appears kind of soft, are you going to try to make that Carolina pick then? Or are you going to wait and see like, hey, maybe the Panthers will get a little better. Maybe they'll be one of those teams that figures something out toward the back end of the year. I'm going to wait to make that Panthers pick until a little bit later. And similarly with the really good teams, sometimes you're like, I don't know if I want to use the Chiefs right away because they're such a safe pick. Well, you never know with injuries. You never know with the way that teams trend. And so, a win's a win. And in the all 32 last year, what was so fun to see, and we kind of predicted this was going to happen. And we do this format, the all X one and done, however many teams there are on the league. So baseball, we have it right now. It's an all 30 one and done. We did it for the EPL as an all 20 one and done for English Premier League soccer. And we see this actually very commonly where you get 3/4 of the way through the season and somebody's up there undefeated or with 1 loss or something like that. But then you look at who they've picked and you're like, oof, they've got only bad teams left. This is going to be really interesting. And so as you might expect, they start dropping and not winning many more games. And then somebody who was back in the pack, but who had really been strategic and saved a bunch of good teams goes undefeated over the last 5 to 10 weeks and ends up taking the crown. So last year in NFL, I believe that we had somebody at 24-0 with 8 picks left, but the winner ended up being 27-5. So like that person that was 24-0 just like started losing most of the rest of their games.
Because he used up a lot. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And so so that format we really, really love. As I said, we do props pools. So people are familiar with props where you're just picking one, right? Is this player going to go over or under? In the Super Bowl, is the national anthem going to be over or under this length? Who's going to get more passing yards, this QB or this QB? So people are familiar with individual props. But what we do is we make a pool out of it where we do somewhere between 20 and 25 props. And some of them are your technical stats-based props, but we do a lot of fun props. Like in the Super Bowl, a common one is like, what color is the Gatorade bath going to be, right?
Right.
Or like I remember we did one 2 years ago where we said, will the Super Bowl broadcast show a video or a graphic or a photo of the Kelsey brothers growing up as like boys or teenagers, and like 98% said yes, but they didn't do it. They didn't do it. So the prop went no. And so we do a mixture of stuff, and then we do it as a pool. So it's like whoever gets the most props correct wins the props pool. And so this year we're doing it for Thanksgiving. So the 3 Thanksgiving games, we do a set of props across those games to make it more fun to watch them on Thanksgiving. We do a Super Bowl props pool as well. So yeah, I mean, those are a bunch of the formats. We do one stats-based one that people really like, which is a quarterback passing yards one and done. So again, you can only use each quarterback once, and you're just looking for the amount of passing yards that they get in a game. And what's cool about some of those stats-based pools is we have the overall season-long prize, which is the biggest prize that we have in that pool. But then we also do intervals. So like for the quarterback one and done, the first 6 weeks is its own interval, and whoever does the best there gets prizes.
Contest, yeah.
Then the second 6 weeks, and then the final 6 weeks. And so something we really believe in is like, listen, you're doing this for fun. You're paying us $10 per pool, up to, as we said, the special for Odds Breakers listeners, $60 if you want to do all 12 pools. And we want you to have something to play for every week of the year. We want to make every week of NFL watching fun. We want to give you something to pick for, something on the line where you could possibly win if you pick well. And so we structure our pools to deliver that. And I'll say too, I said this before, but we don't just pay first place. So we, in the big NFL Survivor, we pay the top 700 places. And a lot of these other pools that are smaller will pay somewhere between 20 and 100 places. And I think in total, we're paying out about 1,500 places for the NFL pools this year.
That's awesome. That's huge. And that means even if you're thinking you're kind of out of it, you still have a very good shot here at winning. And they always come up with just one winner with the Survivor. They don't let it make it so you push in the big Survivor, because at the end you might have to pick 2 games or a couple other twists. What are those?
Yeah, I love that you mentioned this. I can't believe I almost forgot this, because it's one of our favorite things is at the season, no damn ties, as we say, no damn ties. We crown a champion in every pool. It's like you have these Survivor pools that advertise this certain prize, and then you see that there were 800 people that tied for first place, and then all 800 split the prize, and it's just not quite what was advertised. We crown a sole champion in every pool that we do, and we do it through the way that we structure the picking. And also, if there needs to be tiebreakers, we have a set of tiebreakers clearly spelled out that everyone is aware of, that if we happen to have 2 or 3 people that are tied at the end, then they go to these tiebreakers to get us a sole champion. So for the big Survivor, and we have so many years of data that we just know how this is going to shake out, is in weeks 1 through 9, you make 1 pick. And then in week 10, if you're still alive, and there's not going to be that many people that are alive in week 10, you move to 2 picks per week. And we keep going at 2 picks per week until there's a champion. I can tell you, even with 10,000 plus people participating, it does not go the distance when those are the rules. So like, you're going to have everyone who's going to end up with a loss at some point in time, except for our champion. Or in the case of last year, we had 5 people who made it into week 15, and they all lost in week 15. 2 of them lost twice, so they made it all the way to week 15, then went 0-2. 3 of them went 1-1, and then those 3 people engaged in the tiebreaker, and we got an ultimate champ there. But it was our first tiebreaker, I think, in about 5 years. Usually, it just breaks clean. We have a clean champion. Nice. Who goes 2-0 in that final week when everyone else goes 1-1 or 0-2. So all of our pools have a similar structure. When we advertise that first prize, somebody's winning that first prize. So for the NFL Survivor, somebody's taking home $50,000 for an investment of 10.
That's awesome. And you paid over $50,000 the first place there. And how much money is going to be guaranteed?
Yeah. So this year for all of our NFL pools together, it's $215,000. That's guaranteed. For the Survivor pool alone, it's $120,000 guaranteed, and of that, $50,000 goes to the champ.
That is awesome. So look at $60. You get a chance to win well over $50,000, or just at least your money back if you're winning a couple of these $1,000 or $10,000, whatever these mini pools are paying. You have a great chance to win out of 12 pools, don't you?
Absolutely. So, as I said, we have 1,500 places paid. And so that's a large share of folks that are taking home money. And for a lot of them, they're taking home 2x, 3x, 4x, what they paid in. But let me be clear, like we structure this as a low cost sort of entertainment forward service so that it's a ton of fun, even if you don't win, right? Like nobody enters a pool being like, I absolutely am guaranteed to win this pool. No, I mean, you hope so, right?
Yeah.
And I think we have one of the best, most fair, sort of most distributed payout structure around. But if you end up not winning, we hope that you had a ton of fun. You had a bunch of shots at it and made a bunch of weeks of the NFL year more fun. And you picked up a lot of wisdom, right? That wisdom matters, especially in these complicated formats like Loser Survivor.
Absolutely. Plus, you guys remind us to pick too. You always get in the season
Yes.
emails, and they remind you they do their best to remind you. You can even put a text message on your email provider to make that happen too. I have alarms. that go off in my phone because I'm in so much stuff these days, and it does help. But I really appreciate how the season does that and tries to get you picking, because there's been times, someone turn your alarm off for whatever reason because you have a meeting, you forget to turn it back on. The season will be there to send you a reminder. So that is wonderful. Make sure you guys get that promo, www.theszn.com/OB. Peter, if anyone has any questions, where can they go?
Yeah. So go to the website, as Kev mentioned, www.theseason, spelled SZN.com/OB. If you want to send us an email, we're just yo@theseason.com, which matches our personality and our style. We are very responsive to emails, so that's the best way to do it. But yeah, we'd love to have you in the community. It's a unique place. As I said, we've been around for 16 years. We do some things a little different in terms of our guaranteed payouts, in terms of our determining a sole champion in every pool that we do. And we try to keep things, there's strategy, but we keep it very straightforward so that, grandma can play, so that friends who aren't so, into football can play, and you can talk about them and have fun with them during the NFL season. So
make sure you guys reach out to the season. Use the link www.theszn.com/OB to get that massive 50% off, getting 12 pools. Thank you so much, Peter. Best of luck this season.
All right. Thanks for having me on, Kiev, and I look forward to talking to you the next time.